Hi everybody, here's a video to show you how to take through Design Space the new SVG to cut a presentation box for the Svalka, I think that's how you say it, wine glass from Ikea. Okay, so we'll go to Design Space and bring it in. There it is in my library. This is very similar to the existing supermarket wine glass box that's out there, in that you've got your main box piece, the lid, the base piece, and then an insert for the base and one for the top of the glass to stop it rattling around. With this SVG, like most of mine, you get a PDF of very detailed assembly instructions. That does explain how to take it through Design Space, but this video will show you how to do it as well. But then you do get lots of photographs to help with assembly. It's a really simple box though. Okay, so as usual, the first thing to do with any multi-part SVG with score lines that you bring in Design Space is to convert those lines that come in as cuts, which we actually need to be scores. And in my SVGs, they always live, excuse me, in that first subgroup within the layers panel. An SVG which has lots of parts and score lines, if it's been saved properly, it should come in three groups. There's this overall group that contains everything, and then within that there's two subgroups, ideally, one that's got all the scores in and one that's got all the cut pieces in. So we're just going to select that first subgroup. It's the second line down in your layers panel. I'm using the desktop version of Design Space. And then you go over to your operations menu in the top left here, click on basic cut and choose score from the drop down menu. And you can see that those lines have been converted now. And while they're all still selected, we need to ungroup them. And ungroup is at the top of the layers panel. It's that symbol there. Second step is to select all the cut pieces. So again, you're just going to click on the name of that subgroup. All we need to do here is ungroup. And the third step is to select absolutely everything on screen. And if you're working in your layers panel like I am, the fastest way to do that is just to click on that final overall group. But you can also use the select all button there, or you can drag a box to enclose everything. However you do it, once it's selected, do a third and final ungroup. So now everything is a separate piece and all the scores are separate, so that you can attach them to the individual pieces that they relate to. It's really important that you do these as individual pieces. If you select the whole SVG and attach everything, you'll end up with a project which is too big to cut, and you'll get a message from Design Space telling you that the project is incompatible with your machine. So the quickest way to attach the quickest way to select one piece, I think, is to click on canvas somewhere near it, drag a box to enclose it, and then attach. Again, on this PC version, it's at the bottom of your layers panel. That is the top insert. This is the bottom insert that wraps around the stem. This is the lid. This is the base piece, so no scores on there. And this is the main box body. And I do point this out in the PDF of instructions. The taller, longer tabs are the top of the box, and these shorter tabs are the bottom of the box where your base attaches, like so. You don't need to remember that now, it's shown in the PDF. Okay, so we'll hit make it and see what happens. Oh, now we'll just go back 1 second, sorry. I just want to discuss this piece, because this is sort of the problem piece in this. You can make this box from 12 by 12 card, but if you're using one of the newer machines like the Maker 3 or the Explorer Air 3, where it actually checks the size of the mat that you're working on, you will need the long mat, unfortunately. With the older machines, if you've got a piece like this, which will actually cut from 12 by 12, 12 by 12 inch card is 30.5 centimeters square, and the largest dimension here is 29.5, so you've got a whole centimeter to play with. So I know that this will cut from 12 by 12 card, and if you're on the newer machines you can still use 12 by 12 card, but to cut this piece you're going to need the long mat, I'm afraid. So we'll hit make it and I'll show you what happens. So if you've no 12 by 12 to choose there, and that's because it's this piece here which is causing the problem. So to cut this from 12 by 12, first of all select this main piece, and then you'll just need to select the cut section in the layers panel. Then make it a different colour. Doesn't matter what colour you make it, it's just to differentiate it from these four. And then I'm going to select these four. They're 29.0 by 25.26, and I'm just going to attach those. Then I'm going to hit make it. We can choose 12 by 12 or 30.5 by 30.5 if we're in centimetres for all the inserts and the lid. And then this piece here, so again, if you're on the new machines, you've no choice, you've got to use the long mat, but just put a piece of 12 by 12 on your mat, a couple of millimetres, a tiny eighth of an inch or something, away from this first white grid line on your mat, and it will cut perfectly. It'll still cut, I think, even if you don't do that. If you're on the older machines like me, the Maker and the Explorer 2, you can use 12 by 12 mat and 12 by 12 card because the machines don't check the mat size. Okay, so that's 12 by 12. You need 2 sheets. I'm just going to put that back to the colour it was. So now we'll hit make it again, and this time I'm going to choose A3. Can't choose letter or A4, unfortunately, because this piece is obviously way too big. And we can see here that we need 2 sheets of A3 still. If you put that one on the other mat, you would end up with quite a usable piece of card there. So it might be a good idea to do that, because that one cut round there is going to end up being a bit useless, isn't it? So I would personally, click on that, move, I pop it on this mat with all the other small pieces. And then you've got a reasonably usable piece of A3 or ledger or tabloid in the US there. And you've got a good piece there as well. So again, 2 sheets if you're using that size. Okay, that's it. I think that's all I need to tell you. Refer to your PDF if you need help, any more help, and refer to that for when you come to assemble it. But if you've got any questions when you come to cut or assemble it, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm always happy to help. The details for getting in touch are in the description below, and if you've just stumbled across this, I cannot speak today. If you just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description. Thanks a lot. Bye.